Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing. Big night coming to you tonight, and just when you thought that things were going to get beautiful by the weather front, along comes a cold front and down to 11 degrees. And as I don't know, I was sitting in Cranbourne today and boy, it came pelting down.
Yeah, just something to knock us down a peg even further. It's been strange enough that we've completely lost all concept of time, have been locked away in our homes for the last 8 weeks. But that's a story for another day. But no, we're going to get a bit of rain by the end of the week, which should be the grand final day.
Well, I was saying to a few people today that this Saturday would have been the AFL grand final, long weekend actually, and Trelly 12 degrees in Melbourne this Saturday, I think, and going to be very, very wet at the MCG with no one there.
With no one there, that's right. Yeah, but we were able to move around the country, which is a good thing for us. Yeah, a little bit going up our way. So yeah. Yeah.
News today, I think, is that the New South Wales border closure will open up to regional Victoria only. Us Melbourne people will not be allowed to go to New South Wales, but you folk from Shepparton, looks like within days you might be able to travel into New South Wales.
That's right. Could be an exodus.
Yeah.
Just straight across the...
just saying, real estate, people are looking to go to the country now, and people have just had enough.
Yeah. Definitely had enough.
Yeah. So, Charlie, we're talking about the rain, like obviously, and we've got, I think, 40 mil coming this Friday, which is going to be great for all the waterways. Are you getting that up in the bush?
Well, funny you say, because we had the weekend, which just went past, predicted 20 mil of rain and that type of thing up at Eildon, and actually I went with Mary, we went up to Eildon, camped up there, and we had a fair bit of rain overnight, a little bit of rain overnight, but the days are actually beautiful. So we fished the pondage and those areas up there. Yeah. But the rains at this time of year, it's supposed to rain. Yeah, exactly. Don't mind the muddy rivers or the discoloured water, but the farmers and the crops up that way, they're looking spectacular. All the crops, up our way through country Victoria and lower New South Wales, all up through middle New South Wales, looking really good. And if those guys are making money for our area, it's a really big spin-off. It's great.
Yeah,
fantastic.
There you go. As we know, people in the regions can still go fishing, so they're very, very lucky. And us people in Melbourne, well, I'd tell you what, we expect fishing to be opened up after this Sunday, but. Folks, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
Now, most of Melbourne can't get out and catch a snapper, but those, in areas like down towards Coronella and Geelong and all those sort of places can get out. So let's kick it off with this is... Did you sneak that one in? You idiot, Trelly. You idiot. Andrew Daniels. Snapper in Cryo Bay. Did you put that one in?
No, I don't think that fish. I don't think that fish will taste any good.
Let's get on the real ones. I don't know who sneaked that one in. Let's go. Ricky K, lovely gummy shark off Elizabeth Island in Western Port. So well done, Ricky. That's a beautiful little fish there.
I'm jealous, Ricky.
Nice. Most of Western Port is jealous right now. Particularly those at Hastings that haven't got a boat ramp. More about the boat ramp later on. Over in Coronella, Carrie Ann, have a look at this. 76
nice
centimetre, beautiful snapper.
That's a good fish.
They're starting to
We're
run.
Missing out, Dave.
I know. Over in Cryo Bay, don't worry about Andrew's fish. Brad Axe, have a look at this. A beautiful, not a massive fish, but that's a good sized fish.
How good are the colour on the fins? You can see it up around the eye there too. That beautiful blue. Love it.
So the bay's fishing pretty well.
Cryo Bay's been really good. I've had some excellent reports, and not just snapper. Whiting down there and flathead and that type of thing. So it's been excellent. Some of the boat ramps are actually been, like the car park capacity's been full.
Really?
So so it's been really good.
That is good. Okay, let's head out to the regions now and have a look at some of the fish being caught. Port Welshpool's always a beautiful place, and Dane Tracy, a lovely calamari down there out with his mate, and some beautiful calamari, big ones down there.
How do you get them a wreck like that? What sort of stroke do you use?
I don't. All right, the Gibson Lakes. It's promising to be a big year there, and have a look at this. We talked about this guy last week, Brett Geddes, a
Superstar.
1.77 kilo brim in the Nicholson River, near the boat ramp.
I can't wait to go to Gippy Lakes. Speaking of rain, they had some brilliant amounts of rain over the course of, I guess, that late winter to early spring. And it's not just going to work wonders for the fish, but I think it's actually going to save a couple of those systems down there too. Lake Tyre's got plenty of rain, and that was in desperate need of a little bit of a
The
fill-up.
brim love a bit of fresh, don't they?
They do, and it makes it quite easy to target them too, because it'll push them out down towards the mouths. They'll just sort of search for that right salinity. I like too much for fresh coming down.
Is this where we bring up the netting word, or we save it to later?
Yeah, we're going to debate Gippsland Lakes later on, boys. So now have a look at this. The first of the barrels that for this season, Matt Hunt got out with a charter and 129 kilos to his customers on board the other day. How good is that?
Where's the customers?
Yeah, no one in that.
Not allowed. They weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, that might have been a crowd of 10.
They weren't supposed to be
10
there.
fishermen.
10 blokes from Melbourne. Well done to Matt. He knows when the barrels are around. So I tell you what, the equivalent to a barrel at Portland is a stonker in Thornton.
It was a freshwater barrel, isn't it?
Yeah. Have a look at that. Have a look at that for a stonker.
Noel O'Connor. He's a junkie as far as fishing goes up that way. So Paul O'Connor, I should say.
His name was Paul.
Yeah, his brother's Noel. He's got a couple of brothers. Yeah. So very good fisherman actually.
Good fish.
Excellent fisherman.
Yeah. Have you thought about catching wild trout at all, or just the stock stonkers?
Actually, Paul had a lot to do with McCowan and rescuing a lot of the fish and putting back into other systems and all that type of thing. So he's putting a heap of work.
Well, there was a wild trout inside that stonker.
Yeah, ate one. It's 30 centimetres.
That was the one he took.
And because it is school holidays now, all the trout lakes around regional Victoria have been stocked, and of course the kids going out and enjoying those in regional Victoria, not in Metro Melbourne, but hopefully soon. But have a look at this one, Vera Cummings, beautiful little rainbow trout in one of the lakes down Gisborne Way.
They're stocking them
and
up there.
they're good, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Vera's brother, have a look at this, Archer.
Nice.
Lovely little rainbow trout as well. Good to see the kids out.
That's right.
And you'd have them. What's your lake called?
Lake Victoria.
Victoria Lake.
Yeah, we've got a few other lakes in Marupna and around the place. We're just starting to get reports.
See, they'd stock them with trout for the school holidays.
Correct.
But they've also had like golden perch and Murray cod put in too, haven't they?
Yeah, through that.
Do you get many catches of those, of the natives?
Not lots, but they're in there because that's when they had the rescue, the channel rescue up there with electrofishing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they actually put a lot of those fish into the systems around Shepparton, and Victoria Lake I know received some nice cod and some yellow bellies. So they're in there. You just got, it's a bit weedy at the moment. You just got to get in there and the kids will tell us. Give them a few days. They'll be on the board. What are you getting off the
no
wall?
worries at all.
What are you getting?
Won't be happy in Melbourne, 12 degrees and rainy, 40 Melbourne. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au. Go Pies!
Yeah, I wanna go fishing.
And speaking grand final, Saints are on a good path because we don't have to play Collingwood now. Collingwood lost. Saints get to play the Bulldogs, and Saints are in with a chance this year.
We like to set ourselves a bit of a challenge. We'll go and take care of the coasters up there in Perth. And, just pave a nice path there.
Yeah, it is an exciting time of year, although we've got a week off this week. And footy in 2 weeks' time, so we've
still got the NFL
it is
and the NBA going, Dave. So.
It's a very strange year. Coming up, fisheries news, and we head into the kitchen again for Patagonian Toothfish next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
You want the good or the bad news?
Oh, hit me with the bad news.
No, we're going to start with the good.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to go downhill too quick. All right. All right, this one here. The headline is New Gippsland Lakes Plan to Safeguard Fisheries Future. This is a media release from last Wednesday. The Victorian Government is delivering on its commitment to invest in science and habitat restoration in the Gippsland Lakes with the release of a plan to safeguard the future of one of the state's key fisheries. Minister for Fishing and Boating Melissa Horne unveiled the draft Gippsland Lakes Recreational Fishery Plan and called on local residents and businesses to have their say on the proposal, which will help return the lakes to a recreational fishing mecca that it used to be. Earlier this year, commercial netting was removed from the Gippsland Lakes, paving the way for the plan and delivering a key commitment of the government's $35 million Target 1 Million project. By improving habitat, installing artificial reefs, increasing stocks and consulting on bag and size limits, the plan will help accelerate the recovery of key species such as black brim and dusky flathead. Recreational fishing, this is staggering. Recreational fishing contributes $380 million to the Gippsland economy each year, and the plan will improve catch rates and fish stocks, leading to better fisher satisfaction and more tourism. That's a staggering amount for those lakes. And
amazing.
I don't know, boys, if you guys spent much of your youth down there, or you're still a youth, Adam. But back in the 80s, we used to go and hire, a group of us when I was working at BHP. We used to hire a Bulls cruiser, and boy, did we drink some beer. But it was nothing to have, just fish out the back of the Bulls cruiser. Right? We used to run it up on the bank and you just throw prawns out the back. Be nothing to have a 100 brim session.
Really.
Keep every one of them. Breakfast, lunch and tea. It was like you just ate brim and drank beer for like 6 days straight. But anyway, there's a survey.
It
was just back in the day, you know. So now one of the good things about this plan is they're doing a survey, and I did the survey myself the other day. We put it up on our social media yesterday, so if you want to get onto Talking Fishing's Facebook page, there's a link. There's also a link on the VFA's Facebook page that links to the survey. Now, a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about. Ads, you particular, because you love your brim fishing, but currently the minimum size limit for black brim is 28 centimetres and the bag limit is 10 fish per person per day. Now that is across the whole of Victoria. The draft Gippsland plan proposes an introduction of a maximum size limit for black brim of 40 centimetres. So in other words, if you can catch one between 28 and 40, you're allowed to keep it. But anything over 40, you've got to let go. And the plan also proposes to reduce the current brim bag limit to 5 per person per day, down from 10, to speed up the recovery.
This would be statewide?
Well, so one of the questions, in fact, these are the questions. Do you agree with changes? This is only part of the survey, so people need to get on and do this, but do you agree with changes to black brim management, including the introduction of a maximum size limit of 40 centimetres and a reduction in the brim bag limit from 10 to 5 fish per day? And then the next question is, do you believe that a reduction in bag limits for black brim should apply to the Gippsland Lakes only or on a statewide basis in all Victorian waters? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm all for the slot limit. I'm a massive advocate for slot limit. I just think it ticks all the boxes. You're eating the fish at a prime sort of eating size, but you're also encouraging fish stocks and reproduction, so I think that's a great thing.
How big do they grow?
Oh, you can get them to 50 centimetres down in Tassie, especially.
So we're
some
talking
big fish.
40. So there can be
40 is the magic number for brim. So 40, anything over 40 is a stonker, I guess, for a brim.
Okay, so is 40 right then? If you catch a 39, you should be able to eat it?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, because you can always make an argument. You
39 is still a big.
It's a good fish, and you don't want a slot limit where it's kind of like, it's no point having it 28 centimetres, but the slot limit's 35. Like it's still, you know what I mean. You still got to be able to take something home to show, because I do believe in taking fish and eating them as well. Bag limit, they are quite a slow growing fish, so I think 5 is fair
for the lakes.
I wouldn't confuse the issue. I would make it Victoria wide.
So what about the bloke that goes down the Maribyrnong and wants to catch his 10 now? He's going to have to go back to 5 because we want him to recover in the Gippsland Lakes. That's not fair, is it?
Yeah, but are we starting to confuse the issue with too many rules and regulations? It's just one thing I'm concerned about. But have a look.
It's a big difference being way down there and there's like way up here.
But okay, so the next, I guess, an on-flow question from that is dropping it to 5 in the Gippsland Lakes. Is it going to make that much of a difference? Because if you let recreational anglers still, and I'm just playing, the other side of the coin. If all recreational anglers were still going to take 10, they're not guaranteed to catch those 10 anyway.
Yeah.
But with the nets gone, you know what I mean? A net was guaranteed to take hundreds of thousands of fish, tons of fish per time because they know when to go.
In the day...
So actually it's a bit negative. So you're taking away the nets, but you're reducing the bag limit.
Yeah.
So,
Whereas taking away the nets is meant to give more fish to recreational anglers, but you're making it harder for them to... Well, not harder, but less to take home.
Yeah, but for Gippsland Lakes, they are trying to revive a system, though. So they're acknowledging that there's a decline in numbers in the system.
So you just go 4 years or 5 years and then revert back.
And then do you go back to 10?
Yeah, you'd have to put a time frame on it. They have to at least have a time frame to re-look at the rules because it is a restoration project. It's not just we feel as though I don't think they are. They're good enough to eat. There's nothing better than going down to Gippy. Exactly what I do with my old man. We go down there,
foil and
so they're good.
Cook them over the fire.
It's just like carp.
It's the romance of the camping and your mates and your beers and all that sort of stuff. They're not a great eating fish, but they're good enough to throw on the fire.
There's 10 fish.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's a debate to be had, and if the people at home have got an opinion on it, get onto our Facebook page, the post that went up yesterday about the Gippsland Lakes plan. There is a link to the survey. Get on there and just have your say, because I think at the end of the day, the era we're in is that the VFA do listen, and what the majority of people say will probably be the way they go.
I'd like to throw a bit of a shout out to Brett Geddes, who you saw there with a cracking brim before. Brett, if you could email, mate, write in, let us know your thoughts, because if I respect anyone's opinion coming out of somewhere from the Gippsland Lakes, I mean, the amount of hours and time Brett's put into...
He's the mayor of Brim Country.
To learning the systems and not just catching fish, but understanding what makes them tick. Brett, I'd love to hear what you think, in particular on the bag limit issue, because we can go to and fro on it till the cows come home. I think the slot limit's a no-brainer. That's just me. Bag limit open for discussion. Brett, I'd love to hear from you, mate, because this is right up your alley, and if anyone knows the Gippsland Lakes, it's Brett Geddes.
Good point, Ads. All right, the next one. Have a look at some of the work that's being done up at the Snobs Creek Fish Hatchery. They're preparing all the nesting boxes for Murray cod. We've got a little video coming up here. So simple and yet so effective. Hey? Bit of fly wire, they're using that old roller to bloody...
I know.
You know?
I know.
And they're getting millions of Murray cod.
Yeah.
Can I give the results?
Is it a trap or a nest?
No, it's where they lay all the eggs.
You didn't show people how to make a trap then, did you? A Murray cod trap?
No. The Murray cod go in there.
We want to trap their babies, not the big ones.
Yeah, well, the blokes in flannel shirts are listening, you know. Fill it nice.
Oh dear.
Had no lid on it.
All right, let's move on to this one. I'm shaking my head, I tell you. Let's just have a look at a couple of photos here. So the first photo there, leave this one up on the screen if we can, boys, out the back. This is as they're building the cofferdam around Hastings boat ramp back in July. Can I just say that? July.
Yep.
All right, so they're slowly building it there.
Last year.
And it all gets built, that bit of the left-hand side gets finished and they pump all the water out. This is what happened a week and a half ago. There's the next photo. There you go. The wall caved in.
Jesus.
That used to be a straight wall up the top there. And of course, when the tide comes in, you've got a little bit more water pressure. And so the wall bent over because it's in mud. There's another one, just shows a bit of an angle there. So I guess last week we broke that news that the cofferdam had buckled
University
and we weren't sure what was going to happen. So now
I think it was a unanimous decision from us three on the panel here to
abandon it.
Surf it.
Yeah. And I know that's not an easy decision to make, and I wouldn't like to be the decision makers, but Better Boating Victoria put up on their social media 1 week ago that this had happened, and that any news that comes to hand will keep you informed. What I can't believe is that 7 days on, there's no news. There's no feedback to the community on what is going on with Hastings Ramp. Now, there was people working there today because you could see it on the webcam, but there's just where is the community communication? I mean, there are tens of thousands of people that have boats that rely on Hastings Ramp to be able to launch. If there's any delay to this project, which I'm sure there is now because it looks like they're working on it, the original date of finish was October 16, right? It's now nearly the end of September, and so we've got July, or like we're at least 2 months behind, I would have thought now. You've got a long weekend in the last weekend of October, being grand final long weekend now. And then the following weekend, you've got the Melbourne Cup weekend. So you've got 2 long weekends in a row, which is the prime time for snapper. And it looks like, even though there's no communication from Better Boating Victoria.
They blocked you on Facebook, didn't they?
It looks as though it's still going ahead though.
Yeah, but where's the communication to say, hey, it's out? Or are they working night shift? Are they going to have it done before those 2 major long weekends where it is the time to go snapper fishing?
Pretty keen to hear the new ETA.
Yeah, but there's no news. Don't even know why we're featuring it. No news.
Like the tunnel, 2022.
Yeah. Well, at least this one's probably not being blown out by 300 million or whatever. But anyway, but who knows? Who knows? So there you go. That's the news. Coming up next, product of the week: a new range of fishing rods that won't break the budget. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
All right, Charlie, just behave yourself there, mate. We're looking at a brand new range of rods, Dave and Charlie, which you've already had a keen play with, I see. We thought we'd stick with the theme after a bit of feedback last week, Dave, that if we could show you things to do at home or maybe some stuff coming out to keep an eye on as we rapidly approach being able to fish again, we thought we'd show you a brand new rod range called Spectrum Plus. It fits into that, I guess, beginner to intermediate range, but we wanted to feature it this week because we understand times are tough at the moment. We think, the dollars are going to be pretty lean leading into Christmas, but we do also anticipate we're going to have quite a phenomenal snapper season with a little bit of rain in the spring and late winter, a little bit of warmth already. I think we're primed for a good one.
This is one for the people on JobKeeper and JobSeeker.
Yes, correct, like me. This is Spectrum Plus. So what makes it reasonable? It's got an inserted solid tip, which basically means try and break it. It can be knocked around. It can be, it can buckle over with, you get 4 snapper load up at once, and those tips can touch the water. And Dave, you're making me nervous. But that is a solid. That's a solid tip. Solid inserted tip. Standard O-ring guides. Guides have come silently a long, long way.
I would expect that from a bad customer, actually.
These are quality rods.
Yeah. So why we're featuring them, listen, we've got a Hyperloop 6000 on this rod here. Now, that is a genuine, I guess, entry-level to intermediate snapper combo for $100.
Yep.
Wow.
$100. Yep. 10-year warranty on reel, 12 months on blanks, but rods, don't tell Shimano I said this, but rods come and see me if there's any issues there, but you won't have any issues with these ones.
I mean,
there's so many models to choose from
Shimano
as well.
brought out about 8 new rods ranges this year. So this is the first one we're going to feature.
Yeah,
but,
they tend to they churn rods over pretty quick, and most manufacturers do.
But cosmetically, they're a very good-looking rod too.
Yeah, now another thing that's great for us down here too is the solid white tips. We fish a lot in low light, obviously dawn and dusk being prime times for snapper. Just that little bit of, I guess, light in the tip makes it a little bit easier to see. I mean, I know boats are decked out these days with more lights than you can basically turn night into day, but you've got the white tips. It does make a huge difference.
Even the Brett Getty special with the cork handle's got a white tip, hasn't it?
Oh, that's a weapon.
Trelly, you got the
that's a weapon.
You got the cork handled one there.
Yeah,
that's the deluxe model with the cork.
They all two-piece heads?
No, there are some one-piece. There are some one-piece models in the range. We've got all two-piece models here. That 802 Brim, though it does say 802 Brim on it, that is as good as a like a light trout rod that you'll get with you.
It's not what you're setting a break.
Where you're floating shut up, Charlie. Where you're floating a bubble float down a run or something like that. But yeah, that's probably the action's a little bit too soft for my liking, being a lure caster.
No, that's a nice one. Yeah, no, exactly what you said.
Yeah, and then we've got the 702 nibble tip there, which is your standard whiting sort of thing too.
So they're pretty much catered for it. They've done a surf in this too, I think.
They have done a surf in this, in both 8, 10, 12 foot. So yeah, there is literally something there for everyone. But
no, I don't do the idiot test.
You won't break it.
I'd kick people out for doing that.
You won't break it.
They're a good rod.
Yeah. But Spectrum Plus, so you can pick up a snapper combo for $100.
Google them.
Yeah, there's a bit going on there. There's heaps of models, too many to cover right now. But have a look.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, there you go. Another rod range. And like I said, but 8 of them to roll out over the next.
Yeah. The thing is with rods, is your reels are pretty standard, aren't they? But you do look at rods, and when we go through rod range, you go, things have changed a little bit. They might be using soft plastics. They might be using a different bait that's smaller or larger. So
I mean, and this is a bait fishing range at its core. Yeah. You can try and cast a lure all you want with these, and you'll probably find it a little bit difficult. It is a bait fishing range at its core, and as much as we all love our lure fishing, bait still dominates.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All right, talking about fish, let's head into the kitchen because I had a little bit of during the lockdown, which was still in, but I went out and got a little bit of Patagonian Toothfish, which is available at your, your fish shops that you find in the shopping centres and places like that. You buy it in a little package already, pre-packed cryovac sort of thing.
I know nothing about Patagonian.
Well, let's have a look at Patagonian Toothfish. Tonight, Patagonian Toothfish.
Austral Fisheries Glacier 51 Toothfish is a premium product acclaimed for its deep, rich flavour and succulent, broad, flaking flesh. In the culinary world, it's the seafood equivalent of Wagyu beef, and it's highly prized by top chefs and their discerning customers.
These fish, I was just reading there's actually a dedicated recipe book to toothfish. These fish are caught 4,000 kilometres from mainland Australia down in Antarctica in anywhere between 300 to 2,000 metres of water, and they're just a sensational fish, very high oil content but beautiful white firm flaky flesh. Now I'm going to cook up some of this. I'm going to show you very shortly how I cut it up and how I cook it. Now I said to my mate Cole, who put me onto Patagonian Toothfish, how do you do it? Expecting a really fancy answer. He said my favourite, just do it in panko breadcrumbs. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I've cut the fish, have a look at the skin on that. I've just cut it into smaller portions so that it cooks quite easily and quickly, because you don't want a big slab that takes too long. So very simply, you grab that in some plain flour, just going to roll that in plain flour, into a beaten egg, just like so. Skin and all, absolutely beautiful. Into the panko, just give it a bit of a roll. And that there is going in a little bit of rice oil for some shallow frying. Now we're eating healthy tonight. Beautiful greens in the steamer. And now we've got the Patagonian Toothfish going into the oil. Don't want it too hot, you just want a little bit of sizzle when you put it in. That's absolutely perfect. This is going to be sensational. I've cooked these beautiful golden brown, just getting them out now. Always put them on a plate with a bit of paper towel just to drain that oil, and just let them sit. This is quite a, like I said, a firm, thick fish. It'll actually cook while it's standing for the next 2 or 3 minutes. It'll cool down, it'll be just nice to eat. But there you go. Lovely Patagonian toothfish. How good is that? A couple of little slabs of Patagonian toothfish, beans, Brussels sprouts with a little bit of garlic butter and some silver beet. I'm eating healthy tonight. Been eating pretty healthy while I've been locked down.
I reckon you're about the only person left in the world eating Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts.
I don't mind them either, but I don't eat them.
Actually, I like them.
Oh, don't you?
I get them every now and then,
A
but
bit
they're
of
huge.
bit of garlic butter on them, or you fry up some bacon and throw the bacon in with them.
Yeah, I don't eat bacon.
You're really just hiding the taste of it.
Not the butter as big as the Brussels sprout, I like.
Yeah. But at the start of the show, I had to suck the gut in half as much as we normally do. So, I know, got to eat healthy while you're locked down. So, a couple of things. Daylight savings starts not this weekend, but next.
So I've lost all concept of time. I don't know what's going on.
Daylight savings.
I'll just wake up and my phone will tell me what time it is, whether it's adjusted an hour or not.
Well,
don't know.
That's going to happen. The other one is, Trelly, did I read somewhere about inter-valley transfers? Is that all on track to, they're going to fix inter-valley transfers or what?
There was a commitment or a deal done with inter-valley transfers with our Water Minister, Lisa Neville, but for 20 gig to go down the Goulburn River at certain months this summer, which would allow a much smaller flow through the Goulburn system than normal.
Is it normally more than 20 gig, is it? Or?
Yeah, it has been up to, look, I'll probably get it wrong, but 40 to 50 gig.
Yeah.
Now, a 20 gig would allow, say, above a summer level metre, let's put it at a metre going down the river above summer level, whereas it normally has been a lot higher than that. So there was an announcement there, but I think that, I'll get this wrong, but I think there's been a backtrack on it because of the COVID, but they've pushed this decision to do this back.
What's the amount of water going down the Goulburn got to do with COVID?
Well, I'm not too sure. I mean, at the moment, for whatever reason, it hasn't, the commitment hasn't been sort of withheld. And I believe it's gone back 3 years. So the next 2 years, we're going to see much larger than 20 gig go down. And we're in a situation now at the moment where the health of the river at that riparian level, that level of growth of where everything starts, the bugs and healthy river system starts, is just going to be stuffed. It really is.
Well, probably should have explained inter-valley transfers is when they transfer water from Eildon down the Goulburn into the Murray for downstream irrigation.
For downstream commitment to water. Yeah. So it's not
and it's just ruining Goulburn, the Goulburn River.
Yeah. Don't get confused with environmental water. Inter-valley transfers is money traded, too much water traded downstream.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yep.
So so it's a real problem.
Travis Dowling will have something to say about that.
And it's killing the river.
Yep.
Absolutely killing the river.
Got to go to a break. Coming up next, Kramer's mailbag. Plenty more to come on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
A little bit of news that I forgot to talk about before we go into Mailbag Boys is they're telling me that the CEO of the Victorian Fisheries Authority, Travis Dowling, is now barely recognisable. No.
Been a rough COVID, hasn't it?
No, well, what he did, he went and bought some chooks. So he's on a diet of eggs and he runs 25 kilometres a day. They reckon he's as skinny as a rake. So if we get him on here, he'll probably be able to fit
just in here somewhere.
4 of them between us. 4 Travis Dowlings, but they reckon he's just worked on that body.
There you go.
So well.
Need a metre of social distancing.
Anyway, we'll get him on the show pretty quickly, as soon as we're allowed to. This is from Keith. Keith says, when do you think Cow's Ramp will be dredged? We'll get some photos here. I'll talk over the photos. His friends were at Cow's Ramp on the 17th of September. And No, there's not a lot of water to get your boat on the trailer there, is there? Like, that's the boat ramp at Cows. When do you think it'll be dredged? These people had been out and they caught 3 snapper to 8 kilos.
Fish.
And they, if it wasn't for the virus, they'd be going out of Hastings, but they can't. But there's just, it absolutely needs some work down at Cows. I mean, look at that. Is this really, are we really in Victoria in a major bay called Western Port with a state government initiative called Better Boating Victoria? Is that actually happening?
I think you hit the nail on the head last week, Dave. There's got to be a management plan or a schedule, some sort of schedule.
He's asking, is there a dredging plan at Better Boating Victoria?
Yet. Put it on the list.
This one is from Michael. He goes, quick question, Trelly, for you. As a hunter, the government, as a hunter, the government, as you might know, gave us an extra year on our game licence. My question is, are we going to get compensated on our fishing licence because of restrictions in Victoria? Thanks very much. Love your show. Keep it up and stay safe. What's your opinion on that? Because I've got one.
Yeah, well, with hunting, you go out hunting, and then you've got mobs like the Field and Game who provide, say, nesting boxes and things. Whereas in fisheries, they've got a full-time, year-round, program that breed fish.
Yep.
And I think not. I wouldn't want to see the fishing, not continue as far as
what's your game licence cost you?
Oh, look, I think it's about the $30 or $40 mark. Yeah, so then you got duck and quail and deer. But fishing, I think fishing's a totally different basket, because fishing you've got big programs, you've got Snobs Creek, you've got the hatcheries that they're in production and they can't stop and start in bits and pieces. And that's what your money's going to. So I'd hate to see money taken away from that. Whereas I think don't get me wrong on this, I think the hunting thing is the deer are still going to be there. Well, the ducks are still going to be there, type of thing.
Yep.
Whereas the game thing, your money is going to something that's producing and rolling over all the time.
Yep. And if you've lost 10 weeks of fishing for the year or whatever, you know what, you're going to hand back $8.
That's right. Yeah.
Because the money's actually kept in a trust account and spent well.
Yep. Did that answer your question? Good.
Yeah, no, that's good. Right. So this one's from Lee, and it's about Hastings boat ramp. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but early in the year, Lee recommended to the management authorities down at Hastings, the Shire, he recommended to them that they postpone the works until winter of 2021 and complete the 2 stages of the project all in one, which includes the south pontoon at the same time, 1 winter closure, pretty sensible. He was totally ignored. And he's provided a lot of advice to the designers of Hastings and so forth. Now, some of the things that he's come up with on the proposed pontoon, which I'm really confused as to when they think they're going to do it, because there's talk now about doing it at the end of 2020. Are you really going to open the ramp, right, for what, 4, 5, 6 weeks at the most, and then do some more work? Like, just what is going on down there? Lee says they have included a disability ramp some 70 metres long, which makes the operation of the new south pontoon during busy periods tedious and slow. Now, Lee, I'm going to come back to that. There should either be a shortened ramp or access by another short ramp at the western end. We're going to show this in a minute. I've also suggested that the left side of the new pontoon does not really need access by boats, as there will be enough boat tie-up without that. Now, let's just have a look, because I actually went to the Mayor of Hastings, Don Newman, who turned 70 the other week, by the way.
It makes a pretty sweet little ramp too.
If people weren't watching last week, we got it wrong all that time. He was not 90 odd, he's 70.
It's not like us to get anything wrong, Dave.
No. This is what Don wrote, and we're going to put his little model up if we can. There you go. So now Don wrote that, firstly, that pontoon, you can see that pontoon, the furthest one, it's not 70 metres long. It's about 32. And what Donnie's saying is that there's going to be, you walk down a little bit of it and then there's a set of steps. So that's the design where you won't have to walk the full 32 metres. I think you've got to walk 20. But at low tides, you can actually just walk up the steps. There's a little that blacky sort of pontoony thing. You'll be able to just walk up there instead of using the ramp if you want. And what else did he write? What else was he talking about? And he's saying absolutely there should be boat access on the southern side. So anyway, Don and Lee, I reckon they should get together and talk about
Get it done.
And the people, the authorities, should actually listen to those two guys. So, all right, this one's from Damien. Welcome back, boys. Great show. A dredging program organised, run by this government. Did I hear you say, Kramer? And there's a lot of ha-ha-has. That's funny. I don't think so. As you're aware, the Victorian government couldn't organise a shag in a shag house. Oh, I should have read this before I went on here. Let alone a dredging program. No, well,
point taken.
Not going to read the rest of that.
Correct.
Damien, but good point.
Thanks, Damien.
Good point.
Make good viewing.
Yeah. What's this one about? Should I read this another boat ramp. Apologies to all the people that are complaining that we talk about boat ramps so often, but it is so important to recreational anglers to have good boat ramps. This one is from old mate down at Coronella. He has got a list a mile like that long of things that are wrong at Coronella. Now, Coronella was only redeveloped, a year ago?
It's only new.
Yeah, it's only new. They got it wrong. And so he said he's been making complaints, he's been writing on that, and they've come back to him and said, if you can garner some support for your concerns by other users of the boat ramp, you could perhaps consider raising it with state government representatives. So they're saying you've got to get a whole lot of people to say it's no good rather than just one person. Well, I don't know a person that likes Coronella, to be honest. But some of the complaints are the new ladders not having slip-resistant rungs, being dangerous and not complying with Australian standards. The new jetty is a disgrace, as it is unusable to the majority of boat users. It is badly designed and constructed. These issues have been brought to the attention of Better Boating Victoria. Well, you're wasting your breath there, Michael. The questions he has: why invest dollars in increasing boat ramps from 2 to 4 lanes and then reduce the parking? Why build a new jetty that is unusable and inaccessible to all leisure craft not having a drive-on trailer? Why doesn't the new jetty have ladders not complying with Australian standards? Why isn't the new floating jetty located in unprotected waters and subject to wave action, not fitted with vertical posts to suit gunnels of boats? Why don't the designers and every entity involved know about how a boat ramp works? Anyway,
apart from that, Coronella's pretty good.
Yeah. I suppose that, Dave, look, we're in the country, we go out and we launch our boats and we do what we do. But for you guys down here, it is the point you put in, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't, that's it. Yeah. The access to the bay is through boat ramps.
And
that's
hundreds of people a day during
and
the
that's
peak
what we
times.
bang on about so much, and you get it. It's like, that's where you put your boat in.
Right.
Yeah. Never hear a complaint from over in Geelong way, Charlie?
No,
at the boat ramps there?
No, well, I don't think they have a real problem over there.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
do, but not like this.
If you'd like to write into Kramer's mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
And coming up next, the all-important hotspots for those people that can go fishing, and hopefully that means everybody after this Sunday. Talk about hotspots next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Morris Yacht Squadron, Melbourne's premier trailer boat club.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots, brought to you by the Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron, Melbourne's premier trailer boat club.
There's still plenty of people fishing, isn't there?
I try not to think about it.
No. All right, well, let's give those people the hot spots for this week. If you're over on that western side of Port Phillip Bay, the first one is Port Arlington. Some lovely King George whiting around Port Arlington at the moment. And
excellent. No netting over there has just been massive, hasn't it?
Well, the whiting are just abundant now.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone's going out, getting their bag.
Yep.
Going out again in the afternoon. Don't do that.
They should bring netting back to thin them out a bit, do you think? No. I didn't say that. No,
it's been really good.
I'll get in trouble for that. I'll get in more trouble saying that than Travis Dowling being slim, but anyway. Okay, the next one, Simmons Channel, which is out on the Geelong side of Mud Island. Plenty of King George whiting out there as well, and some thumpers, they're telling me, out there. Try and get that 7 or 8 metres of water. deeper water, faster flowing, and crystal clear. About 11 or 12 degrees out there at the moment.
Nice.
So whiting love it. All right, let's keep moving along. Coronella. It's the capital of snapper this time of year, and plenty of people that are living out on that side of regional Victoria can get out to Coronella, even though the boat ramp's not good and you've got to walk a mile to get to the car park. The fish are stunning over there. So well done. If you're heading out there, you'll do all right. The next one, Rill. Let's keep flying through those, boys. Rill, snapper,
Same deal,
again.
just the time of year.
Yep, absolutely beautiful. Now, for those people that are in regional Victoria, you are allowed to travel, and you can get down to the next one, Portland, if you've got the opportunity. I know it's pretty terrible weather the next week.
Windy.
But if you get a window of opportunity, as you saw in Catch of the Week earlier on, Matt Hunt's been out there on the barrel tuna, 129 kilos. There's some decent fish down there at the moment. So, and then the other one, as we talked about earlier on, is the Gibson Lakes Brim. While this water's cold and that rainfall's coming down the system, it's a great time of year.
Just let me go, Charlie.
Yeah, I know.
Great time of year. So, Charlie, quickly, a couple of things. Yellow belly, when do they fire in Eildon?
They'll probably start soon.
Yep.
Yeah, with this
prime though.
With this, about Melbourne Cup. So that lead into Melbourne Cup is usually the time to go up there and fish. So yeah, unweighted, scrubbies and bib lures on rock walls, things like that.
Yep. A lot of people we saw for the first time ever, I think, an unbelievable amount of yabbies being sold.
I was just about to say exactly the same thing last season.
That's certainly that fishery using yabbies for yellow belly was out of control last year, to the point where we couldn't get yabbies.
It makes it really hard sometimes
in the bait and tackle shop. So, what's the most innovative thing that's happened to cod fishing in the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years, I would say...
And you got me thinking, because you were talking about these... What do you call them? The sights on the guns.
Oh, the infrared.
Where you can see a pig in thermal scope. You can see a pig in 8 foot of grass.
Thermal imaging.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the massive bit of innovation that's come to hunting.
Yep.
What is it about cod fishing? What's something that's innovative that's hit? Sorry to
I think
ask you something about notice.
No, you're right. I think in the last 10 years, I'd say it's been probably surface lures.
Yeah, okay.
Because we've gone and seen, lures that have been sort of like, the size of the stubby holder.
Is that a Wonder Woman stubby holder, by the way?
I think it was for the recreational, women in recreational fishing sort of thing. I couldn't find one of their stubby holders, so I'd prefer to bring that along. So but from smaller surface lures in small areas to some of the surface lures, and some of the lures we're using now are just massive.
Yeah.
We got lures like. On the old scale, probably 16 inches long, 18 inches long, and then you got to have the rods, to launch those types of lures out, and get them at Eildon and Mull Whaler and even the Goulburn and things like that. So, and then you hear all the old blokes that say, I was there fishing and this cod come along and took a black duck off the water. We're dragging around lures the size of black duck now. And they're still catching fish. They're still catching fish. So I would say it's that. The innovation would be just the size of lures they're getting up there. You talk about the real old days, they'd shoot a rosella and drag him down the river and catch fish. We're getting back to that.
Is it an Eastern or a Crimson rosella?
Eastern.
They're better?
Yeah, they've got a yellow bit on the...
Is it a fad, or is it something that will last?
Nah, it'll last
for a long time now.
Yeah, 100%. It'll last because we're seeing the colours of these lures just getting more innovative and just... it's now to have a trend of colours that come along. So there's just all this thing that's happening. It'll last.
Yep. And one last one I wanted to talk to you about Redfin.
Yep.
Because there's quite a few Redfin around at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, country Victoria. We're going through that. We've got a window of opportunity where we've got that warmth of water just coming through. It hasn't totally warmed up yet, so we're seeing that top metre of water. So Ranga Basin, Nullacoody, even Eildon, Epilock and those type of things. Get plastics and troll them behind the boat, 30 metres, 35 metres, just with a little jig head, slow the boat down until they just disappear. Because you'll get a window probably in the next couple of weeks. The water's
So what? The Redfin are coming up to that top metre of warmer water, are they?
That's right. They're only in a metre of water, so we're fishing just a metre of water. Or if you're fishing deeper water, just fish that top bit along banks and things.
Yeah.
So if you're out, that top bit of water, that metre, it'll probably go, I reckon, for another couple of weeks because it's getting cooler weather, so it'll stay. And then once it starts to get warmer again, they'll probably go deeper then. So if you're at redfin, yellow belly fishing, certainly try that 1 metre of water, even in the Goulburn, backwaters, eddies, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Redfin in good numbers at the moment?
In certain areas, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Ranger Basin is one of those ones where I think the fisheries have probably avoided putting cod in there. They stuck with the yellow belly because the reddy fishing is so good.
Yeah, they don't want to lose that redfin.
Yeah, and I know it's an introduced species, but it tastes good. It cooks up
still
like
want to do it.
Patagonian Toothfish, whatever it is. So
Well, you can't just go out and catch a Patagonian toothfish, but you can go out and catch a good feed of redfin.
Yeah, a Ranger Basin redfin
toothfish. No, all good. Good to have that chat about a bit of fresh water because people are doing it. They're not allowed. We can't get into Western Port because the major boat ramps closed.
Growing still, I think. Freshwater fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you watch people get away on Melbourne Cup weekend if we're allowed into the regions. Melbourne Cup weekend and Grand Final weekend. But anyway, that's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully this time next week we're allowed to go fishing in Melbourne. If we hear any news, it'll be all over our Facebook page, so make sure you follow us. Until we see you again next Tuesday on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.